All right, let's do this. I'm actually genuinely excited for this, knowing that this was fixed. There we go. Boutte is there. Good. We got the new running backs. I forgot all about George R. Martin. Awesome. Oops, didn't mean to hit back there. So we are going to be able to properly optimize this team now. Isn't that fucking exciting? All right, so anybody with half-decent throw power that is not currently at quarterback, I want to put you at quarterback just until we know who the best players are going to be for that position, because it is quite clear that we only go as far as our quarterback carries us. Our Ramrod, Dwumfor is an athlete, Iron Age footballer. There's no way this guy will actually end up being the quarterback, but at least we will have all of our at least we'll have all of our options laid out in front of us. Like, a lot of people on this team are potential QBs, and I'm not allowed to move Ramrod away from wideouts. Okay. If we go athletes, because we ended up with a couple of them. You know, Marcus Dwumfor. Want to see how good he is at QB. And then, are there any athletes? I mean, this guy is listed as an elusive back, so let's just move him to wideout for the moment. Apparently, he can also play linebacker. Okay. But now I should be allowed to go to wideout and move Car Ramrod temporarily to quarterback. It's still not going to let me do that. Can I move this tight end emergency staff temporarily to wideout? So I can move that guy to quarterback. Fully see our situation. Thank you. Okay. So these, holy shit, are all the players that could potentially play quarterback for us. Right. First one eliminated is Iron Age footballer because he only has 83 throw power. So we'll eliminate him. That's fine. We could set the standard of 90 throw power or above, but then the question is whether or not anyone can actually play anywhere else. And I think that's probably the most important. So if we sort by quarterbacks, can anybody play defense? And let's be honest, they'd probably be playing in the secondary. Nobody above a 50 except for Balzano Chen, who does have good throw power. But I think, I mean, again, we just have too many people that can play QB. So we are going to move him back to the secondary. We moved him back to quarterback. I cannot take the cowbell right now. We moved him back to quarterback when it was looking like we weren't going to have better options. Then for the quarterbacks, can anybody catch a football? Cornhucker kind of can. Dwumfor definitely can. Sagan and Ramrod. Okay. You could make the argument with Cornhucker, but Dwumfor, Sagan, and Cornhucker. You know, I'm willing to see what this team ends up looking like. So Cornhucker can kind of catch a football. Medine Sagan, which pretty on the nose. And then Car Ramrod will also move out, leaving us with these players here that could potentially play quarterback for this upcoming year. They are guys who cannot really catch a football. Guys that can't do much of anything. They can't catch a football. They can't play defense. The only thing I'd say they could play aside from quarterback is running back, but most of them have no speed whatsoever outside of Boutte and Dwumfor, which are we really going to need the help in those other positions? You could also talk about cutting people. So we'll check back about the quarterback situation, but it might not be great this year. For the running backs, sweet mother of God. Now, can anybody that's playing running back play a defensive position? Both these two, run stopper and power rusher. We'll check them out later on. Can anybody that's currently playing running back play a defensive position? The answer there appears to be no. It is no. So we're talking either quarterback, running back, or wide receiver. If not, I mean, Cornhucker can catch a football, but he's only got that 79 speed. And he's listed as an elusive back with 79 speed. It's probably better to just put him back at quarterback. Right? I mean, he can catch a football, but he's way too slow to be a wideout. He's not big enough to be a tight end. He's going to be way too slow to be a running back. We got to move him back to quarterback. For the rest of these guys, we're going to wait and see where they end up. We also have the two fullbacks and then a couple of wideouts and tight ends. Let's double check with all of you guys then. Can any of you play any form of defense whatsoever? Is my question. Kyrie Timms at wideout definitely can. So we got Kyrie Timms. And that looks to be about it. That is it. Okay. So, Mr. Timms, let's move you, when I can, over to the secondary. At least we know that's coming. Then we got our tight ends or fullbacks and all of that. So who here can catch a football? Madan Sucksagan can definitely catch a football. So that'll move Mr. Timms to the secondary. So that sets us up then. These guys both have 60 speed. I mean, that's pretty relevant for tight ends. Next stop, CFL. We loved him at tight end, but let's see if he'd be better at wideout. Let's see if Quaylen Hendershot would be better at wideout. And because of the sub 80 speed for those three, they'll stay. I don't think it'll let me move Paul Tagliabue. It will. Okay, never mind. I lied. So these three best suited at tight end. They might not all have the size, but based on their speed, the fact they can catch a football, they're good there. These guys are slow as hell, so they're not going to play anywhere else. Is there anybody who's a bit slower, like Hendershot, that can catch a football? Is there anybody at running back that can't catch a football? Yes. So the guys that can't really catch a football, we're going to have to consider as running backs. Meaning, Iron Age footballer, you're off to wideout. Car Ramrod, also off to wideout. I'm so glad they fixed this, because it just makes it so much easier. Shaden Harmon, we want to at least see if you can be a wideout, even though you're a new addition. D'Angelo Link is the last one. Let's again see if he can play wideout. That leaves us with these five at the moment for running back, which isn't great. But hopefully there will be some player developments. So we need to move at least two guys over to tight end. Based off of speed and catching ability, that's primarily what we're looking at. I think we got to base it off of speed. So Jaquaylin Hendershot will go back to tight end. His natural position. And also based off speed, we got a couple other guys who were also former tight ends. We got emergency staff. And the final man with 83 speed was the commissioner himself, Paul Tagliabue. So that leaves us with this many options at wideout, which honestly doesn't look that bad. Everyone has at least 85 speed. And it leaves us with 6 tight ends. I think that's good. That works. So for the offensive line, this will be where we get to sort this out now as well. Cedric Keogh and his lack of agility really is best suited there. Actually, can any of these guys play defense? Any of you guys on the O-line currently play defense? No. Except for Ba Pyamouf. Ba Pyamouf and Qui-Gon took my Jin are the two that could move. Bop is a pretty damn strong center. We might need the defensive insurance instead. So let's at least see what these guys are going to look like on the defensive side of things. And we'll see if we end up moving them back. I have to check the two athletes that we have as well for that same reason. So Griggs and Mankins. Either of you pass block, run block? No. Okay, those guys are pure defenders. Is Madden's rating at running back again? I'd have to check. I would have to check. Odds are I'm going to like him where he is. All right, so left tackle. Let's move Cedric Keogh to the middle. To center, as we talked about. Taste the Biscuit has good enough agility. He can probably be a tackle again. I think he was a terrible tackle once upon a time, but keep filling it right tackle. Mr. Raffle. Definitely good enough to play at guard. And Bun Jones, definitely good enough to play at tackle as well. Apparently he can also play tight end, but I'm pretty sure he couldn't catch football. Shits and giggles, let's check really quickly. Shits and giggles. Anybody on the O-line catch a football? 66 for softer than a soup sandwich. Okay. But only 72 speed. Wouldn't be a great option at tight end, but honestly, maybe. It says he's an 86 overall because of the blocking, so fuck it. Maybe we put him there. Maybe his catching gets a little bit better. Maybe. 70. We got the 60s and below. 70 there. Tyree Ames I'd want to move. The center. It's good there. Avon Wells. Move to the interior. Quincy Jones. Move to the interior. So if we were to have it set up like that, it would be Man Bun Jones and Taste the Biscuit at tackle Perk Angle as the depth behind them. 77 guard, 72 guard. Okay, so with those two guys that we moved from the defense, or from the O-line to the defense, we do look just a little bit thin. A little bit. Little bit. A lot of guys kind of naturally at center because they have no freaking mobility whatsoever. That honestly includes Quincy Jones. Try to train them up there first before moving them to the outside. What's the defense look like, and do we want to move guys like Qui-Gon back? I mean, Ba Pyamouf, we don't really need on the D-line. We actually have too many people as it is. I think we move these guys back. I think we do. What was Qui-Gon's agility? 82. So he is right back at right tackle. And then Ba, probably going to be a guard. Also says he could be a tight end. Let me just double check. We could have the most ridiculous tight end core of all time. Can Ba catch a football? No. The other guy can't catch a football. ball either. Okay. So then left tackle, 89 into 76. 77 into 48. This guy will get much better. He's a former defender. Crap load of centers. Good right guard, decent backup. Right tackle, decent backup. If we were to keep Qui-Gon there, which would make some sense. I think he lost some of his ability at right tackle, though, but it's okay. So we'd line up to be the weakest at center, but that's okay, because John Glocklin will have some development. We just have a crap load of guys here that honestly might get cut. I think we're okay. For the moment. Obviously, some linemen are going to get cut. So, defensively, we're still going to base this off of speed. So everybody there is fine. Jock Griggs needs to be, at the very least, a linebacker, if not in the secondary, with that type of mobility. And then Tony Beck can move from defensive tackle to defensive end. And these guys are all slow as hell. Linebackers... Technically, move Bohannon to the edge instead. And then definitely Del Ricks. Way too slow. Play anywhere else. Now, the big question is, would we need any of these guys on offense? We have 5 running backs on roster. I don't think we would. I think if you're on defense right now, that is just where you're playing. The secondary, Balzano Chen, is too slow. Play secondary, but good enough to play linebacker if we can trade him up. 84 speed for a couple of these guys as well, but plenty of corners. So Mr. Hitstick. Let's see if we need you at linebacker. Big Al. Out one Muscasset. Move him. And NIL OnlyFans. Temporarily move you over. See what we're dealing with then. How many linebackers? It's not too bad. A little bit worried about some of the speed ratings. I think we're going to need the 86 in Griggs to be a safety. You should manage 2 teams at this point. Ball State will let you down. Hell no, brother. Hell no. We're going to win. We're going to win. Just you wait. We're going to win. Great things are going to happen. The most beautiful things. Great things, the most beautiful things. So we base this on speed rating. The 87, Tim Edmond. Going to have to move him over to safety. He's fast, but he's not as fast as the corners. Does leave 2 and 2. Edmund and Takeover could both be starters. Femboy Takeover. Might mean that Jacques Riggs. We might need to move one more guy. That we're good depth-wise, but honestly, at corner, all these guys are at least 88 speed. I think that's fine, too. Although, you could argue Edmund is the backup. If we move one of these guys with the highest rating, it would make sense to move Hayden DeCloset. So if we move Hayden over to safety, gives us a decent balance at corner in terms of like the amount of manpower that we have. We'll actually move Femboy Takeover back over to strong safety. And move Ogbu back over to free safety, so that's good. Now it's just the linebackers that we need to sort out, and then kicker and punter, by the way. Guy has no accuracy at all. Guy's all power, no accuracy. Let's move Man Bun Jackman over to punter. He'll be better suited there. Okay, so for the linebackers, of which there's a decent amount, who can play zone coverage? Quite a few of you, actually. Quite a few of you. Ario Cornhucker. Ball State Mahoney. Frank, we ran into a brutal-ass glitch. I'll show it to you in a second. But it's a bad enough gameplay glitch that it's scaring me away from the Titans for now. That bad. That bad. Some of these guys that can play zone, they're just a little bit too slow for me to have them at safety. We're going to have a lot of competition for middle linebacker. Mr. Hitstick, a former safety. Put him in the middle. So on the outside, that leaves Donald's Toupee, Thad Castle. The middle ends up being pretty stacked. If we run a 3-4, that would actually be pretty good. I do think Sugarcane might be... Let's see, power moves, finesse moves, block shedding. Sugarcane and Balls Mahoney could both move to the outside. So we'll move Sugarcane over to the right, because he can actually be a decent edge rusher. And we'll move Balls over to the left. I think we are actually going to end up looking pretty good here once we get the off-season development. This worked out pretty well. It's just how many freaking players are we going to have to cut? Let's move Dirty Diaper over to the right. And with that, the D-line's looking pretty well balanced. There's actually a lot of defensive linemen. These guys aren't good enough to play anywhere else. I think we're good. A lot of quarterbacks in the mix. Quite a few of them will end up getting cut, but we'll just see who the best of the bunch happens to be. Running back, we need some big developments at the running back position. Wideout's going to be looking okay after training camp. Tight end's going to be very interesting after training camp. And then the offensive line also needs some decent development, but I think we're looking okay here. I think so. Let's move ahead. See the amount of XP gain. Showing us as an 81 overall, and again, I'd no longer have to do the preseason switcheroo. Like, we're just good. So, Crash Andrews Cornhucker, 77 overall. You got Pele, Mail Kakar, James Carden all in the mix. A couple of freshmen who are in the 70s that have at least 90 throw power. Okay. We got options. We did get the... Oh, baby, from worst to first. George R. Martin. Whew. Up to a 72. Let's go, Georgie. God, the offseason development in this game is so satisfying. But just like that, the running back position looks so much better. Fullback, EA breaks everything. Oh my god, that's very on the nose. He's up to a 63, now playing like a 65. Woo! The wideouts. I don't know if I'm going to cut him or not. People said that's our reward for making the playoffs, and I kind of agree with it still. We got two solid wideouts, and we got a little bit of speed with Big Al's gorilla shirt. Not the fastest receiver core we've ever had, but everybody there has good hands. The tight end, softer than the soup sandwich. He is pure blocking type, that is for sure. But with 68 catching, you never know. We'll see what we want to do at the tight end position this year. Left tackle looking great. In theory, with Taste the Biscuit and Perk Angle. Left guard, Mr. Raffle, stepping up, and Divorced Dads went up by about 26 points. From like a 43 to a 69. That's awesome. Technically, he's a 66, but you get the point. Centers, Bubblicious and No Pancakes, I Have Celiacs. Big steps up, so all of a sudden, we're not worried about center. Right guard, Bop Yamoof and Endurance M. Cornhucker, both looking great. And we look great at right tackle as well with Man Bun Jones, who has double platinum for physicals. We're looking good. D-line, Banana Split Connoisseur. To an 86 currently. Other side, Dirty Diaper, Buffalo. An 81. DT, maxed character limit. We can definitely run a 3-4 this year. Linebackers, Donald Toupee and Outback Not Australian took a major step up as a freshman. Holy hell. Middle linebackers, Terrio Cornhucker, platinum blow up. And Wumba Chumba's there. Right side, NIL OnlyFans, Thad Castle III, and Sugarcane, all pretty close in rating. Top 4 corners look phenomenal. Oh, God, we're going to have hope heading into this year, aren't we? We're going to have hope. Hayden D. Closet, up to an 83 as a sophomore. And then Femboy Takeover, Tim Edmond both there. Our kicker's a 78. 271 overall punters. Oh, God, we're going to have hope and optimism, aren't we? That's the worst thing we could possibly have. We're going to have hope and optimism. That's terrible. Haven't I learned my lesson? How many players do we have to get rid of? Only 9 of them. That's actually not that bad. So, at quarterback... It's a bit of a tough call, because you could certainly make the argument for even a top-notch option like Crash Angels Cornhucker. There's a couple of juniors that are all in the mix together. Look at throw power. I went past it, didn't I? Yeah, well, there's D-back, you're seeing. On the run, there it is. So Harden, Pele, both sub 90 throw power. I think we can cut both of them and just say Isaiah Boutte is the guy if it's not Cornhucker. And obviously, Mael Kakar as well, who's also a junior. These guys are barely better than this freshman. So Mael Kakar is out. James Carden, and Pele. I think that's a good setup for us at QB. Running back, nobody to cut. Fullback, we'll try to carry the 2 of them for now. Wideouts, pretty obvious cuts at the bottom. Iron Age Footballer and Dixie Normus can both go. Both seniors way down the depth chart. Tight end. A little bit more interesting. I think we can get rid of Kevin Nash's torn quad, who's bounced around many different positions, but he's just not going to play this year. We can also move on from Front Porch Pineapple. Out of the crap load of centers, to be honest, I want to keep all of them. Love me a good center. Defensive end. Honestly, Sharman Ultrasoft, if we're going to run a 3-4, he's not that usable right now. So, Sharman, hate to tell you, we'll let you go. Let Big Al's toy barn be behind him. And then right end, crap load of juniors. Crap load of them. Only other guy that would make sense to get rid of is one of the 2 punters. Given that that guy's a sophomore in the same rating, man overboard's going to go. There we go, down to our 85. That was pretty easy. We do have to update the conferences, as we do, even though there will be no change to what we have going on in our current conference. We have Western Michigan, number 9 team in the country. They are coming up for Western Kentucky, while Temple will be replaced by Georgia Southern. And then the change in Conference USA, it is Tulsa promoted to the MAC, where they will be replacing USF. And then UConn were promoted, and they will be replacing... Oh my god. So this is our conference for next season. We're currently showing up as an 81. 84 Louisiana Tech, 82 Mid-10, 82 Northwestern, 84 Texas State, 83 Southern Miss, 79 San Diego State, 85 overall Sam Houston, 77 Tulsa, 80 for Vanderbilt, 81 for Virginia. I don't know if I feel better or worse about our chances. I mean, we were kind of outmatched last year, and we almost pulled it off. Almost. So maybe we'd actually be okay. But I also know that anytime we think maybe something might go our way, it never has for this team, and probably never will. I'm starting to accept that potential. But you got to figure, last year our rating took a hit because I did those extra changes, and we were still very competitive. We just weren't better. We just weren't better than UConn. But nobody was. They ended up winning that promotion. So, in the Sun Belt, Coastal Kakalaki heading to the American Conference to replace Utah State. Coastal now, and 2 tiers above us. The Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana head to the Mountain West once more. Replace UAB. Louisiana replacing Alabama in the Mountain West. Love to see it. The Green Wave of Tulane head back to the Pac-12 to replace the fumbling Louisville Cardinals, who have been on a farging journey in this timeline. App State head to the ACC, replace Oklahoma State. While Georgia still in Tier 4 is crazy to me. And then Maryland head to the Big 12 to replace Kentucky. Kentucky down to Tier 4. Texas Tech, who nearly won the national title, head to the Big 10 to replace Wisconsin. Or a mansion in Wisconsin. The USC Trojans, the national champions, head to the top tier to replace the NC State Wolfpack. So that is what the top tier looks like, or at least will look like, in, by God, 2041. As absurd as that is. Go-Go's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is a really fun way to play the game, for sure. Alright, so that brings us then to this off-season. Alright. Showing up as an 81 overall, we got nothing else to change. First and foremost, custom schedule. Again, the way chat's been setting it up has just been lowest rated dudes, lowest rated teams. To be honest, let's just leave the FCS team and Navy. Let's just leave them. That's fine by me. We'll just leave the FCS team and Navy there. That's perfectly fine by me. But in theory, a CFL conference will work with 2 little teams. Yeah, I don't know how many teams you're allowed to replace. Would be the issue, if I'm not mistaken. In terms of the recruitment board, who is out there this year for us to look at early on before we talk about what the rest of this team will look like? We have no quarterbacks that are interested in us. 2 running backs, Martin Owen and Lamont Chester. No fullbacks. No wideouts. 2 tight ends, Richard Haslam and Santiago Baca, who I don't even think was added to the list. Didn't recognize my button press. At tackle, Dwayne Lennon, Stephen Treggs, and Nick Scruggs. Guard, Dalton Knox and Tony Cargile. Nobody at center. Defensive end, Devin Snow, Charlie Pinner, Cameron Sheets, Max Hawkinson. JUCO defensive tackle, we'll ignore him. Linebacker, Cooper Gammon. Bunch of middle linebackers. Corner. Free safety. And a punter. So only 21 players out of the gates. What about 3-star pipeline rating then? We got a quarterback, Jared Sorensen. No running back. No fullback. No wideouts. tight end Ryan Gilliam. Might have a shortage of players this year compared to prior. A lot of outside linebackers in the conversation. Warner and John Brutus. No safeties. Okay. Not a ton to go off of then this year. The quarterback, Jared Sorensen. Actually, you know what we'll do first? Just offer everybody a scholarship, even if it means we end up missing out on some points long term. Let's just get this over and done with. And while that happens, again, Frank, if you're still here, I will showcase to you the disaster of what happened earlier, although I can better explain it later on. This won't actually take that long. But basically, when people say zone coverage is broken, it is fucking broken. Alright, let me see if I can get to the timestamp again. Alright. Yeah, some would have, some, of course, would have already seen this clip. But, yeah, this is what happened. Now, you might have missed it the first time, because I didn't let the zone coverages show up. But take a look at the two middle linebackers. Of course, I'm controlling the one on the left in Koromoa. Take a look at the two linebackers, where they're supposed to be, and then watch the AI on the right-hand side and see what he does. That has nothing to do with awareness or anything else. That is just horrifically broken. And I am not going to have that happen to me in a playoff scenario. Jared Sorensen only has 84 throw power. Let's get him out of there. Let's cover nope, right? Martin Owen. 84 speed, 77 trucking. He's okay. He's not the best, he's not the worst. Lamont Chester. 86 speed as a power back. Same for him. Not the best, not the worst. They're fine. Tight end, Richard Haslam. Man, what I haven't fully created the clip. If you're asking if I can show it again, give me a minute. Set this up first. That tight end is terrible. Santiago Baca, also a blocking type, is terrible. And Ryan Gilliam. Not great. 78 catching, though. Dwayne Lemon at tackle. We got a gem. That's nice. Stephen Treggs. 79 strength. Too many 60 overall attributes. Nick Scruggs. 70 strength. Get the hell out. More like scrubs. Dalton Knox. No. Strength is too low, and he doesn't have the mobility to make up for it. And then Tony Cargile. Strength is too low, and he doesn't have the mobility to make up for it. Packing for Daytona. Ooh. Have fun roasting in the sun. That's my first thought. Devin Snow. He does have good block shedding. He's definitely more of a defensive tackle, though. I'd argue whether or not he has the strength to keep up there. Charlie Pinner. With the block shedding. Also probably more of a defensive tackle than a defensive end. Cameron Sheets. Also more of a defensive tackle than a defensive end. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here with our recruitment then. So, Frank is correct. It will be out on socials at some point. Preseason All-Americans? I live in South Florida, so I'm used to it. Fair enough. In conference, Taste the Biscuit at left tackle, Banana Split Connoisseur at defensive end, and that's it, man. We're only getting 2 players kind of getting the shout out as really being worth it. We are going to be renaming all of our new recruits, of course, but before that, let's go through the red shirts. Marcus Dwumfor, whatever your name will end up being, you're going to be out for the year. We're also going to sit out the middleman of a running back, John Lovin, to get pegged. The fullback, Melo Ringo. Wideouts will sit out Shaden Harmon, D'Angelo Link. Tight end, George Uwu, sit out. We'll sit out all of the new centers. Defensive end, Bohannon. You won't be happy about it, but he'll sit out. Right side, Ricks and Beck. Defensive tackle, DeMarco Brown. New corners, Ben Browning and Kyrie Timms. Honestly, both new safeties. We got decent enough options there. Cool, quick and easy. So the depth chart then for this year. This is what I want to see. Depth chart for this year. We will start Crash Andrews, Cornhucker, but there's a legitimate argument for Isaiah Boutte. Who's a little bit faster, has a little bit better throw power, but that mid accuracy and deep accuracy is much worse. I think Crash Andrews, Cornhucker gets the chance. Running back. You could argue Diet Soda because he has workhorse and much better carrying. Yeah. Mr. R. Martin. Carrying just makes me worry that he might be fumble risk, but he will still get some chances. Fullback is good. I mean, shit, you could argue softer than a soup sandwich should be the fullback. Honestly, maybe he should be. Because the other options here were faster and better at catching a football. So let's put softer than a soup sandwich as the starting fullback. I think that works pretty well. Bob Speed could be there too. Actually, really quickly, QBs. What was the awareness? Yeah, Cornhucker's the guy. At wideouts, Ramrod there. Let's see, this guy has better over 99 change of direction for the real tribal chief. He's got better catching. Let's see, faster, better awareness, better catching to Tribal Chief. I mean, let's try something different here. Same speed, better awareness, better catching. Hey, Jay, I'm really looking forward to Sunday. It should be a tremendous time. Gotta wake up a little bit early for it, but... And faster, better awareness. Faster, better awareness. Faster, better awareness. Catching. Goes to this guy. Faster, better awareness. Okay, that works. That works. Except Tribal Chief is a corner. I just noticed. Whoops. We definitely don't want him there because it murders. I think it's still glitched and murders their rating. So, here we go. Tight end's good. Left tackle. Oh my god, a left tackle is actually at left tackle. But a right guard is not actually at right guard. Son of a bitch. You know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. And then Celiacs doesn't have the strength, but does have better awareness over Bubbalicious. Let's go with Bubba. You know what? Let's make sure people are where they're supposed to be. It's easier to tell what should be going on. You want Raffle at left guard. And, well, I can see why it did what it did, actually. We'll put Cornhucker there. Him out there. Forced ads as the backup in both spots. That works. And then right tackle. Yeah, man, Jones quite evidently. Left end. Definitely banana split connoisseur. Definitely. That castle's play recognition's insane. Right side, it's going to be the diaper. Let him recoup for eating at Dadaz, but honestly, Buffalo can get in there. Left side, I didn't notice how much. So it's diaper, Buffalo, and Dadaz. I didn't realize how much kind of depth we had on the defensive line, to be honest. And defensive tackle should be fine. Actually, let's put this guy above. Just has better strength. Linebackers. You know, for the rest of this, I'm pretty well. I want to keep saying I'm pretty well fine with what we have set up, but then I start to look at the team and it's like, yeah, we should take our time. Middle linebackers. Let's make sure right side linebackers are on the right. Novel concept. So for the left side, Donald's toupee is going to get the tiebreaker because he has takedown. In the middle, Cornhucker doesn't quite have the awareness, but he's a beast. We're going to give it to Big Al because, he's got house call. Let's give it to the guy that has aftershock instead. And then right side, it's either Castle for Grip Breaker or NIL only fans. Let's go for Castle because of Grip Breaker. Corners. Horrific awareness for the real tribal chief. Absolutely horrific. I think we're going to move him down the order. Even though he's got the speed, I just worry he'd get absolutely cooked. And this guy here, Manscaped my Ball State, double platinum abilities. Put him as the number one. Free safety with takeover behind him. That's not what we wanted. We wanted Edmund. And then strong safety, Edmund behind him. Kicker good, punter good, kick returns. Gotta be hide in the closet for his change of direction. Guy's a beast. Kickoffs, perfect. Long snap, perfect. Third down back is fine. Power back, also fine. Slot wide out. It'll just go to the best available options. Why not? And then rushing left end. Got banana split connoisseur. We'll have Thad behind him. And then based off of speed, we'll go with OnlyFans. So that means we need it to be Wumba Chumba, Thad, and OnlyFans. Easy. And then rushing defensive tackle. Can't be connoisseur, but it can be the diaper. Linebacker. Just go with the highest rating. That's not bad. Is Keithley actually done? That's what appears to be the case. That's what appears to be the case. That guy has had horrific injury luck. I think also, quote me on this, but I think the word was like COVID really fucked him up back in 2020. Which is a big time bummer, for sure. Well, on that down note, Ball State Cardinals are ready to go. Aside from renaming. Oh, don't get your hopes up, idiot. Don't get your hopes up. You've seen this before.